First time on air. Anything to say to Luan here to get him back?
Look, bro, there are stories I could tell people about Lawan, but we'll keep those right here. I'm gonna let them live.
That's not even close.
Man, I'm a dumbass.
I'm clipping that.
Georgia's second.
Hey, Georgia also had Herschel Walker.
So smart, and my team is so dumb. My coach he looks dumb. He's a big baby. This man,
those graphics.
Rip, so smart.
Episode 206. Preacher Man Fitzsimmons and with me. Devontae's taking his lady out for her birthday, but he's back, baby. The all-time vibes guy, catcher of the year, catcher of the pub, Mr. Jeremy Dowdy's in the house, baby. Hey.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Let's do it.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, we've struggled as a podcast to talk about baseball. We lost Devin, RIP, and none of us really follow baseball until October. So it's been rough, Jeremy. I'm not going to lie. So you're starting at ground zero with us when we talk baseball.
Hey, that's why I'm in here. I'd be lying if I said I've been locked in every day. I mean, I think as sports fans, we all want the postseason. So I would say I really start to lock it in like September, October. But I think I can provide a little context about the season so far. So happy to
you
be
make
here.
me feel better. Good.
I will say to give Jeremy some context on our baseball knowledge. I've just started getting into it more with MLB The Show, that I got like a discount on MLB The Show. Mm-hmm. And my dynasty team, every time I get, it's like all these sports games like FIFA or Madden where you get like the trading cards, like in the game, like you get the cards and you build your dynasty team. But I'll be like, Satchel Paige. Like Bob Gibson, man, I could utilize him. And then I feel like James Earl Jones in Field of Dreams when he has like the encyclopedia as he's watching the game, and like I'm just like pulling up like Google stats. I'm just like, who's this guy? And just building my dynasty team. And so yeah, I'm dabbling in the past a little bit. Like I have Lou Gehrig on first. I actually have. I think you'd appreciate my catcher rotation. I start with Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez. But then when I need hits, that's when I substitute Johnny Bench.
Yes.
So around like inning 6. It also saves my catcher's knees a little bit, It just so I give them each about 4.5 innings,
Yeah. Pudge is a good one, man. I grew up with the Pudge mitt. He has like his own model of catcher's mitt. And they called it the Pudge. And so every kid that grew up catching, he probably had that at some point. Mm-hmm. But just watching that dude throw a baseball from behind the plate's pretty impressive. Like, obviously he could hit a little bit too, but like dude literally had a bazooka on his shoulder. It was insane. But yeah, Pudge was fun to watch, man. He's a good one. Good choices there behind the dish for you, Fitz.
It's pretty fun. Yeah.
All right, so I think we kind of dabbled in this the first time you're on. We went in your backstory. For those who don't know, go check it out. You got a pretty awesome story coming from Matt. Then you get a long shot what you felt like to go to the league, and then you became the catching coach, the bullpen catcher. Like you spent some time, especially in Oakland, which is pretty cool. Who did you model your game after? Speaking of those two legends right there.
Yeah, honestly, I was a third baseman all the way up through high school. And then like halfway through high school, I switched. So Chipper was my guy growing up.
Yeah.
I always wore Mizuno, had the Mizuno glove just to try to emulate Chipper. And, like he just looks so smooth with it. And you're like, damn, I want to like, that's who I want to emulate. That's who I want to be. So, growing up a Braves guy, obviously Javi Lopez is another one that I emulated as well, being a catcher. But yeah, man, Chipper was my guy. Like, I don't know what it was. I think it was just, switch hitter, third baseman, smooth, Braves, just kind of all the above. Yeah. But, I tried to model my game after Chipper because he was pretty fun to watch.
That's solid. Okay.
So I actually just benched Chipper Jones on my dynasty team. I snagged Mike Schmidt.
Well, all right. If you're going to bench Chipper.
Phillies legend.
Yeah.
But I've got Chipper Jones off the bench.
All right. I can live
It's a
with
hell of
that.
a franchise right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well,
geez.
it's funny. The other funny thing is all these kids only play with like Mike Trout and like
yeah.
Guerrero and like all these like, and I'm like, screw it. Give me the legends that I have no idea. Like, you recognize names, but you don't really know. But yeah.
Hey, a 99 rating is a 99 rating. It doesn't matter what era it was.
Yeah, exactly. All right, since we're talking about it, I gotta ask you, what's your thoughts on MLB bringing in the Negro League records now? Like,
I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for me, I'm a big history guy. Like especially baseball. I think baseball, there's so much rich history. And honestly, like having played at Rickwood when I was in Birmingham, so they do the Rickwood Classic, which I think was just on TV. They did a big league game there, I'm pretty sure, like
I
2
think
weeks
like
ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty cool coming up in Double-A. We would play a game at Rickwood, call it the Rickwood Classic. We wore like the old, like, baggy uniforms with the stirrup socks. And there's just so much history there, man. And I'm like, you get to talking baseball and it kind of just like transcends anything. Like you're just talking baseball. Like it doesn't matter what's going on in the world, all the craziness of whatever. It's just like, hey man, let's talk baseball. Let's talk history. Let's talk numbers. People still know that, hey man, like big leaguers are big leaguers. The best big leaguers are probably still the best of the best, but like, why not bring in that? Like, I don't see an issue with it. And I think it just helps kind of enrich the history of baseball even more because it's such a big part of it that, I mean, as a history buff, I'm all for it, man. I think that was cool. They did that. I
love that answer. Yeah. I think all three of us felt the same too. Like it was about time, and it only enriches the game, like you said. I think it's great. And the last thing, we're catching up here on Post News. Showtime. Is he truly innocent?
Ohtani?
Yeah.
So when it first came out, I think I was in the camp of everybody where I'm like, this seems a little fishy. Like I think he's kind of the fall guy. Ippei is his interpreter, and kind of the more you dig into it, the more details come out. Like I think the guy just had a problem, like his interpreter. I think he was just kind of a scumbag. Yeah. There might have been a little enablement from Shohei, but I'm like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like he had so much going on, and the guy had so much kind of influence over him just with the language barrier. And, he's like his right-hand man that, he definitely took advantage of the situation. I would like to believe as a baseball fan that he didn't have anything to do with it and that his hands are clean. So I'm going to keep that story until I hear otherwise. But it's just crazy, man, between him, the Porter guy from NBA, like it's all this stuff going on. I'm like, I'm sure you guys have probably talked about it on the pod, but like, sports betting is great and all, like it's great. And we all enjoy doing it here and there, but I'm like, damn, like this is becoming like crazy with, these guys getting embedded in this stuff, and it's just mainstream now, which is good, but we need to find a way to keep these, regulate this. Cause I don't want to keep hearing about these guys getting in trouble, especially on these guys on max deals. Like how is this happening with so.
I agree, and especially if the league's in bed with DraftKings and FanDuel and that type of stuff, like you're taking their sponsorship money, but then you're telling your players you can't do it, and it's really frowned upon. It's really soured Fitz. Fitz is strong anti-gambling now. He's to the death of it.
Just don't. All right, well, what better time than to set up the can't miss parlay right now? Let's just go ahead and rock.
Let's just go right into it. Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm in the camp of all the players just need to gamble. They just need to combine and. Yeah, they can't get rid of all of them. Just
that's right.
Can't fire us all, boys.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, Fitz. Any other random questions before we jump into this week's topics real quick?
No,
perfect.
We got it.
All right, so NCAA 25 is coming out, or I guess college football 25. I'm pumped. Jeremy, I saw the look on your face. It looks like you're pumped. Like we've been waiting a long time.
Got like 3 weeks of PTO put in. Just don't talk to me. Don't text me.
No, that's what I'm talking about, dude. I can't wait. I'm locked in. So leading up to it, we're going to break down some of the biggest teams' schedule. I want you guys to predict how well they're going to do. Then we can revisit this in January, February, see how smart or how much of a dumbass we were. All right. First up, Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma. All right. Start the season off Temple. Then Houston, Tulane, Tennessee, all at home. Then they travel to Auburn. They get Texas, obviously rivalry game, Red River Shootout. South Carolina at home. Old Miss at Old Miss. Then they get Maine at home. Missouri at Missouri. Bama at home. Then Death Valley at LSU. How well are the Tigers doing? And Jeremy, I'm gonna put you back on the screen.
I mean, first of all, like, just what a year this is about to be. Like, with Texas and Oklahoma coming over now into the SEC, like, this is just going to be an absolute bloodbath, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. So Vegas has them at 7.5 right now. That's the line. I don't know, man. You got to figure Temple, they're going to win that one.
Yeah.
Houston, kind of that regional matchup. You never really know what you're going to get there. I think probably they win that one 2-0. Tulane, you think 3. I think Tennessee, they're probably eyeing Tennessee week 4. I don't know. I think Tennessee gives them a rude awakening into the SEC, a rude welcome. So I think Tennessee's going to be really good this year, and that's coming. I'm a Florida fan, as you guys probably know. Tennessee, I think, has something this year. So I think Tennessee's probably a loss. At Auburn, I think first SEC road game, I'm going to chalk that up as a loss.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. Let's see. Texas. Who won last year? Who won the Red River last year?
Texas.
Texas won. I think Texas, they're going to be a unit this year too. So I think that's Texas there. South Carolina, I think Oklahoma beats South Carolina for their first SEC win. At the Fighting Lane Kiffins. Ooh. Ole Miss, man, they're going to be good too. Like, last year they were good. They brought in some portal pieces, which that's all they do. Give me Ole Miss in that one.
Yeah.
What is that? Maine. Give me Oklahoma 72-10. At Missouri. Ooh, Drinkwitz.
Drink, baby. There's talks they win the SEC. There's talks.
That's what I'm saying. Mizzou, I'm taking Mizzou there. They're going to be a squad. Alabama.
There's no Saban to say
at home, and this is at home. Give me Oklahoma, Alabama, and then they're going to end it with a loss in Death Valley. That's my
dude. I love your takes right there. I think you're absolutely right. I think there's a couple of flip-flop games like at Auburn, first SEC. That could go either way. I don't know how good Auburn's going to be, but it's a flip of a coin for me. And I got to correct myself. Oklahoma won the Red River Shootout last year.
Oh, then it's definitely Texas this year.
Yeah. My apologies. South Carolina's supposed to have a squad too.
Have you guys been? That's like a bucket list of mine. Is the Red River, and then like Michigan, Ohio State at like the Big House or something. That's like on my bucket list.
It's on my bucket list too. Red River is going to be tough because it's going to be hot as fuck.
Yeah,
but I need to go there. You're right, because it's the Texas Fair too. It's like this huge weekend thing.
Yep.
That'd be dope. Fitz, you kind of vibing with Jeremy here?
Yeah. I mean, and what's funny is this looked tough before. Like, I thought, oh yeah, Missouri, that's a win. I forgot how good they were last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I like the call. South Carolina might be their first SEC win. I don't think that's that crazy. That Tennessee, Auburn, Texas is a tough stretch. So yeah, this is. Yeah, I think you're lucky if I think if you get to getting through October, if they have 2 losses, I'd consider that a win.
Yeah.
There's
only 3 games in October for them.
No, I mean, like, when you get through,
I know what
like,
you mean.
once you get through that point in the season.
Okay.
So, like, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss. If you've only lost 2 of those 5, I think you're in good shape, or in decent shape, like enough to like make a push at the end.
Yeah.
There's just nowhere to take your foot off the gas. I mean, you could look at maybe Maine, but like, all right, you're coming out of a game in the Grove and at Ole Miss, back home against Maine, and then right back on the road to Parker's Point against probably one of the SEC East favorites. Like, that's just, and then Bama.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no, like you said, there's no room to like Temple. Okay. You start with it, but then Houston could easily put 70 on you. Good luck.
I'm curious what the rest of these schedules are. This seems like 5 out of 5 the hardest.
Yeah. I think it was. I'm gonna be honest. I just downloaded them. I didn't look at it, so that way we kind of all had a raw look at it.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah. All right, next up, the old rival who's also joining them, Tejas, Texas. They're going to start Colorado State at home. Then they go to the Big House, Michigan. Then UTSA, the Roadrunners, ULM, and Mississippi State. Oklahoma, Georgia. Then they finally take a road game at Vandy, Florida, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at A&M. Just calling this out, this looks 20 times easier than Oklahoma's schedule.
Yeah.
No.
Well, just the fact that Vandy's on there, like, you know, just the absolute doormat of really anything.
Yeah, a ton of home games. You nailed that, Mackie.
Fitz, take a stab at this one. I'll follow you here.
Yeah, well, a lot of home games. I mean, that's what's nice about it. Obviously, Georgia's tough, but you get to host that one. Even Florida, you get to host Florida. I would say, all right, playing against Michigan, the defending champs. I feel like Texas could actually spoil that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I feel like Michigan might be favored, but I think Texas could spoil. But again, just thinking, if you get through October, I think their goal, having 2 losses by October, is very feasible for them.
Yeah.
I feel like we could be getting to November, and Texas could be either unbeaten or just have 1 loss.
Talk about the hype. If they beat both defending champions, Michigan and Georgia, by the end of fuck the road.
Looking at this, I would call my shot. I think they're unbeaten. I think they could be.
Let's go.
And if they're not, it's just 1 loss, and they just, then they're in their roads right in front of them.
Texas
it's not what Oklahoma's dealing with. They're going to have like 4 losses by the time they get to the.
I think Texas is a little their schedule is a little more top heavy, whereas Oklahoma, it's just there's no easy.
It's
just a climb.
Like Texas, you can kind of lock in on Michigan, Georgia.
Yeah.
A&M might give them a fit, maybe Kentucky, but oof.
No, you're right about that. Like they can focus on, all right, we got Michigan week 2, and then they're kind of, I think it works out in their favor there.
I got in some hot water this week. Somebody asked, what's Texas record? So this is one I did cheat. I did look at it before. And I said, they're going to the Red River rivalry. They're 6-0 coming out of it. They're undefeated. They lose to Georgia. Then I think they stumble against someone they shouldn't. I said Arkansas. Maybe Kentucky covers the spread. But, dude, people were gunning for me. They're like, this guy doesn't know ball. What are you talking about? Arkansas? And I was like, I feel like they're going to lose to somebody they shouldn't. I have a feeling it's at Arkansas. I don't know why. Razorbacks don't look very good on paper, but I feel like they stumble where they shouldn't. Yeah, I don't think it's A&M. I think A&M's horseshit. It's not a hard place to play. Ask App, we'll tell you. So Kentucky or Arkansas, that's me,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's it's going to happen. It's just you have to pick your spot of, all right, where is it going to happen? And you know how it's going to go. I like that 6-0. Everybody's kind of feeling it like this is the year. And then one, Georgia maybe beats the brakes off them, and they're like, all right, welcome to the SEC. Like, let's recalibrate, and then beat Vandy, probably beat Florida, and then, like you said, go to Arkansas, and they lose last possession field goal or something something stupid.
And they just play shitty. Like they beat themselves clearly.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All right, last one. Speaking of Texas A&M, the Colt on the Hill. Here's their schedule. They start with Notre Dame. Then they get Wyoming, then Florida, Texas Tech, Arkansas. I should have picked a better graphic. That's on me. Missouri, Mississippi State, LSU, South Carolina, New Mexico, Auburn, Texas.
I was going to ask you their graphic off their is it their website?
Dude,
because I'd be curious, not on you. I'd just be curious on the shout out to those graphic people on the websites. I think Oklahoma is actually doing it best. Whoever's behind the scenes there, it was pretty clean.
Yeah.
This is trash.
Is that Notre
whoever? I don't know.
Yeah, this is bad.
Is that Notre Dame matchup one of those crazy offsite, or is that a true home game for them?
It's a true home game.
Oof. August
hard place to
31st,
play.
College Station. That's going to be 1,000 degrees down there. I don't think the Midwest
that's true,
boys are
too.
ready for that.
All right. I pulled up the schedule. I'm going to fix this because I had some messed up. All right. So Notre Dame at home, then McNeese State at home,
Okay.
Florida away in the Swamp, Bowling Green at home, Arkansas at home, Missouri at home, Mississippi State away, LSU away, South Carolina
tough.
away. Sorry, Texas A&M. LSU's at home against LSU, away from South Carolina, New Mexico State home, away from Auburn, and then at home against Texas.
That's tough. That's almost as tough as Oklahoma.
Yeah. You look at Bowling Green, okay. McNeese State, okay, there's 2 wins. Notre Dame, Jeremy, I kind of like what you said. It's going to be hot as balls. Like, yeah, Notre Dame's going to be ranked. They're one of the favorites in the playoffs, but starting on the road, hot as balls, that's tough. But that's a toss up for me. Florida, at Florida, I like your Gators there. I don't know. I feel it. Arkansas.
I mean, Napier on the hot seat. He's got to have every big win he can have. So, I mean,
yeah,
why not? That's a classic potential upset situation there. So I don't think you're too far off there.
Exactly. They get Missouri at home. I think if Drink wins that one, people really start talking about Missouri after that. Mississippi State, RIP Mike Leach, but not happening. LSU, they get them at home. Brian Kelly needs to win. I feel like his seat's heating up for him. So I'll say LSU there. At South Carolina, I think they stumble. New Mexico State, they get a win there. At Auburn, we just talked about them against Oklahoma. Auburn wins there, and then Texas A&M, we'll give it to Texas, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at 3-4 losses for
so.
A&M.
Just year one for Elko?
Yeah.
Duke?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll
No
see.
favorites for him.
I mean, I love the program he built at Duke, man.
Dude, he did it right.
Be interested to see what he can do, with way bigger budget and better talent pool.
Yeah.
I don't know. That looks like 7-5. That just looks like a 7-5 record.
Yeah. I
like
like
that.
Yeah. Cool. Good job, boys. All right. Now, the reason we got you on here, Jeremy, some MLB vibes. We got to talk about it. If I can get the graphic, there it is. So, you tell us who's a good team to watch here, who's not a good team. Obviously All-Star Weekend's coming up. I think July 15th is the Home Run Derby, or 13th, one of the two. They just announced some of those starters going on there, which is pretty dope. I know my Reds, NL Central as a whole, it's shitty. That's all I know, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like the last 2 or maybe 3 years, the National League has been so much. It's been congested in the middle. So like the wild cards, always teams 1 game, 2 game, 3 games out, whereas the American League has been top heavy, where like teams are starting to pull away and the gaps widen with the wild card standings. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the NL Central the Brewers obviously still doing their thing, but like still kind of wide open, right? Like I would say, as a casual fan, if anybody's a casual fan, I think the Orioles are a really fun team to watch. They're such a young nucleus, such a young core, and it's been a long time coming. So I remember, just 3-4 years ago, they were just bottom dwellers, and they had such a big prospect pool that people were like, you give these guys a few years, like they're going to be really good. And then here they are, that Gunnar Henderson kid, they got Adley Rutschman, the catcher, they got a pretty good pitching staff, some good bullpen arms, like exciting team to watch. So like Orioles, the Mariners out west, kind of a sneaky team no one's really talking about, because the AL West is like teams are, people are so used to the Astros and the Rangers dominating that division. Now the Mariners kind of taking that same approach as the Orioles, where, hey, we're going to build a prospect pool, make some good trades at the deadline, and then we're going to make our run. So I don't know. It's an interesting year. You can look at the Dodgers to say, hey, the Dodgers are kind of like the clear-cut front runner, just with the money they've spent. You got Ohtani, you got Mookie, you got Freddie. But outside of that, I don't really know that there's a team that says, hey, like we're a clear-cut favorite. Yankees having their issues, with injuries and some streaky guys at the plate. They could probably use a couple more starters to shore up that rotation. So you just never know what you're going to get there. And then the Red Sox kind of coming out of nowhere this year, like starting off a little slow and then going on a little run here. I think, 6 games over 500 now. So it's going to be an interesting stretch. I mean, we'll see who makes some moves, who goes all in. I'm sure the Yankees will spend. They'll get somebody, and Dodgers might shore up a couple pieces here and there. But I think it's going to be an interesting trade deadline that can make or break some teams. But I think it's going to be a fun finish.
Yeah, I like your takes, and I feel like since we started this podcast 4 years ago, we talk about the Yankees. They spend all this money, and they have all these issues over and over. Like, is there a foreseeable future that the Yankees win a title? What is wrong with that organization? They have all the talent. You look at the roster, like they should win. They have all the money in the world. They should be winning night in, night out. Like, what is it? Just bad luck?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I think a little bit is their superstars really haven't been on the field at the same time. So like Soto's kind of been the anchor. I think that was probably the best pickup of the offseason. I've always been a fan of that guy. I just think something about him, man. He's just a gamer, like any situation. But like there really hasn't been a sustained period where they've had him, Judge, Stanton on the field, LeMahieu on the field. They've kind of like had to mix and match some pieces with injuries. So I think that's part of it. I think their rotation needs a little bit of a upgrade. Obviously losing Garrett Cole for the majority of the first half of the year. He's back now, but there's some rust there. Rodon kind of hit or miss. I think they need to shore up some of the rotation pieces, but I think with the Yankees, it's obviously the talent's there, the on paper it's there, but it's almost like the stigma of like, we have to win. Where the Yankees, like anything less than a World Series is a complete and utter failure. Right. And so there's a lot of pressure. I mean, you talk to guys that play in New York or have played in New York, and some guys can do it, some guys can't. Like it's just a ton of pressure. The fans are, I mean, they're one of a kind. Like they hero one day, zero the next day. So it takes a special person to kind of go in there every day and lace them up and say, hey, if I don't have a great game, it's all right. Like let's stick to the process. In New York, that's not good enough. You got to put up numbers, and ultimately it's about wins at the end of the day. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, or an unrealistic conclusion that they win. It's just, I think they do have to make some moves. They have to get some pieces in place because as we've seen in baseball, like top heavy teams don't necessarily win in the postseason. It's the teams that have the balanced bullpens, the balanced lineup, a couple bench pieces. Those are the teams that you see make those runs. Like the Rangers last year, just the right pieces in place.
And let's bring up that Rangers. I feel like they've gone a 180 here, where it's like, oh man, they're going to be, obviously they come off the championship. There's that championship high, maybe that false sense of security. I went to LA to see some family. We went to a Dodgers game, and the Dodgers beat the absolute dog shit out of them. Like the Rangers look nothing like the team I saw last year in the postseason. Like what's up with them? Same thing, little injuries. They're not all again in the same field at the same time, or what?
Yeah, I think honestly, the World Series hangover is a real thing. I mean, it takes you so long to kind of get back. Your whole off season's messed up. The timing's off. You get into spring training. You haven't had a chance. Now you would think that they're kind of, everybody's figured it out. Everybody's in their groove, but it's just hard in baseball to repeat. I think, that's what's so impressive that what the Chiefs have done is seems like every year they find a way to do it again, and there's no Super Bowl hangover with them. And so you see it in baseball way more, where team wins the World Series. It's like they give up so many pieces to acquire a impact reliever or an impact position player at the deadline the year before, that you say, hey, we're kind of going all in this year. And if you don't win, it's like, man, where do we go from here? So, I was shocked to see the Rangers struggle the way they've struggled, because they still have some really good pieces. And I still think there's some guys that are going to play better, and you're going to see a little bit of a turnaround. But yeah, it's crazy to see that a team could win a World Series and then, be multiple games under 500 the next year with almost the same nucleus in place, minus a few pieces here and there. But that's baseball. Exactly.
And so Claudia knows, I know nothing about baseball. She knows absolutely nothing about baseball. And so, we're going to the Dodgers game together, and I'm like, babe, this is going to be a good game. Rangers coming off the World Series. Obviously, I haven't paid any fucking attention to them. I was like, Dodgers, I feel like they got a chance this year. And then, like, by the third inning, she goes, I thought you said this was going to be a good game. This is boring as shit. Like, good for the LA, but, like, it's not competitive. So, man, wild. All right.
I mean, the Dodgers will do that to teams with that lineup. Like, any given night, they could put up a 10 spot on a team by the third inning, and it's pretty much a wrap. That's
exactly what happened.
You catch that lineup when they're hot. It's pick your poison on who you want to pitch to. I mean, that's how they've built it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. There's only been one home run derby participant confirmed. It's the guy you mentioned, Gunnar Henderson, which I feel like he's going to win MVP eventually. You think he's got a real chance at winning this home run derby here?
I think so. Honestly, like, the home run derby to me, ever since that year that Josh Hamilton hit like 42 homers in Yankee Stadium,
dude, that was sick.
I'll still watch the derby because, like, you know, it's entertaining, whatever. It's usually the only thing on TV that night. But, like, ever since that Hamilton home run derby, I'm like, nothing's really measured up to that. So it's like, you know, and now they changed the formats where it's like, you know, I don't know, like multiple rounds and so I'll watch it. But I think it's lost a little bit of its luster ever since that Hamilton performance, if I'm being honest.
I love that take, Jeremy, because I'm with you. Like, I remember watching it and it's like, yo, this is awesome. And the next year's like, they didn't live up to it. And then every year since then, I feel like it's fallen farther and farther from Josh Hamilton, which also Josh Hamilton's story is amazing.
The stadium, dead center, like, and I remember watching that guy because he's from Raleigh. So I remember watching him in high school when I was probably 9 or 10, just being like, damn, this guy just looks different. Like, ball sounds different. And then unfortunately had his run-ins with the off the field stuff. But like, when that guy's right and on the field, like, holy shit, it's like, I mean, he was the Ohtani of our era, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great take. Fitz, any other baseball thoughts from you? I know you're a big Twins guy.
I'd be curious, just Dowdy's take on the Twins. I know, you know, they were battling without Lewis for a stretch, but it feels like ever since Lewis has been back, they've kind of been pulling it together. But I mean, I don't know if they've had a real true test. They've got the Astros matchup coming up. Just be curious what you think about them. Just Minnesota sports are interesting because I'm actually in Minnesota right now. It's interesting because, like, you know, what Anthony Edwards has done to lift, like, the basketball culture. I feel like Royce Lewis gave that lift last year, like in the postseason, to finally get a playoff win. Like, there's just a different energy with the Twins up here now. And I'm curious, like, is that hype real, or is this going to fizzle out, or what's the deal?
Yeah, no, I love hearing that. I think they're a really solid ball club. I think, to your point, get a couple guys healthy, get that same core on the field at the same time. And
Buxton's knees are made of glass. So
yeah, he's one of those guys. It's like, when he's on the field, he's probably one of the most entertaining players, but unfortunately he's good for, 95 games a year. And so it's like, that division's kind of like, low key has become one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. Like, obviously the Indians doing what they're doing, but then the Royals, like, I don't think anybody saw the Royals being 7 games over 500. So there's some really good ball being played. And to your point with the Twins, like, I have a soft spot for the Twins. One of my favorite sports movies is Little Big League. So, it's the one where the kid manages the Twins. And so I grew up on that movie because they used real ball players. Like, Griffey was in it. They had a couple other big name guys, but I always like seeing the Twins do well. I think it's good for baseball when the Twins are competing and in the postseason. So, I mean, I think they're in a really good spot. I ultimately get to a postseason series, preferably a division series, not a wild card, and then anything could happen from there, because ultimately it's about who's healthy, how's the bullpen lining up, and I think if they can get a few guys back on the back from the mend and keep throwing it all right, they're gonna be fine.
And Jeremy, I just gotta say, we went 34 minutes without using a racial slur, and all of a sudden you guys throw Cleveland Indians in there. What are we doing? The Guardians.
We know what we're talking about.
The Guardians. Yeah.
Hey, there's a movie about them too. Major League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
right.
Great movie.
That's right. I mean, one of the best all time 1-2 punches. I think. I don't know which one I like better, but I mean, you can't go wrong with either Major League movie.
I'm adding Little Big League. I don't think I've seen that once. I don't think I've seen it
Yeah, it's
more than that. So I'm gonna give
I
it.
just
a
like
look.
it because they use like real players that
Yeah.
I think it was the real
When you're
clubhouse.
able to get that permission from like Major League Sports, it just makes it. I hate it when it's like, oh, we got the Sharks playing against the Rhinos. And it's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
this isn't
Yeah.
this isn't
Any given
real.
Sunday where it's just random
Yeah.
teams going at it.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
nice to get the approval.
Yeah, for sure.
Good call. Well, let's flip over. I don't know how much soccer you boys watch. I've been glued to it.
Fire them.
Cover your ears.
I've seen a little bit.
Yeah,
I've been dabbling a little bit.
I love gambling on soccer. This has been great. Like, I don't watch it minus World Cup, Olympics.
Did you bet the over on what was it? 20 cards were given out in that one game. Did you see that?
Should've.
They gave out like 16 yellow cards and 4 reds or something like that.
So the real talk is United States. Obviously, we got the pool. Uruguay, I think they're supposed to beat us, but we're supposed to finish second. We're supposed to move on to this knockout stage. We're going home. We're let Panama beat us. The only win we got was Bolivia. We haven't really scored a lot. Christian Pulisic's the captain, but he looks fucking lost out there. He's not getting shots on ball. He's worried about flopping more. Like, there's a lot of issues that people are saying. The one that I think Jeremy said right at the start, manager, coach, no adjustments. I'm a coach myself. You got to make adjustments eventually. Obviously, I don't coach soccer, but do we fucking suck? Do we just suck at soccer?
It'd be hard to argue no. I mean, at this point, like, they're not helping our case. And to your point, it's like, I did a little research on that guy, and I'll follow the major leagues and the major clubs, but like, he hadn't had a ton of success in his European career either. He coached a team, I think in Sweden or wherever it was, but like wasn't great there. And I'm like, regardless of who we're playing, you figure the United States of America, with the talent pool that we have, the athletes we have, there's no reason that we should be losing to Panama or can't score a goal against Uruguay, even if they're expected to beat us. Like, Parker, to your point, like, make the adjustments. And the other thing that pissed me off is wasn't the best officiated game. I'll give them that. Like, there were some questionable calls, but at the end of the day, like, part of it. Like, find a way. They're not the reason you didn't score a goal in 97 minutes. Like, that's unacceptable in my opinion.
Exactly. And my dad has always said, and it irritated me when I was playing, but as a coach, it makes sense. Don't leave in the officials' hands. And you're right. That game was just shit for officiating. And like, the first goal was offsides and everything, but you don't leave it in the officials' hands. Like, you've got to find a way to put this ball in the net. And it was, it's rough. Fitz, thoughts from you, man?
I haven't been watching. I've seen highlights, and then I play weekly soccer, so I've just kind of heard things. I've heard people say U.S. got shafted, and then on the other side, I've heard U.S. just flat out sucks. Like, they're just not making adjustments. I can't remember if is it Reyna that we aren't utilizing, or I'm not sure. I know that happened in the World Cup.
Yeah.
There was a striker, Reyna.
Coach.
Yeah. So I've heard that, and maybe that also speaks to just like not subbing correctly, not utilizing guys right. Yeah, I'd just be curious, like, what is the best team we can put out there, and is there a coach that really just doesn't sound like we've ever had a coach that we can just name and claim.
Yeah, I think it's like, it definitely is starting from the top, because I remember the first match against, it was the second match. We went a man down with like a guy, like just one of our midfielders just sucker punched a guy, because there was some kind of bush league play going on, but like at no point can that happen. And I think that's more of like a leadership thing, where like I feel like well coached, well managed teams, that doesn't happen. And I just know as a player, it's like a Nick Saban player is not going to punch somebody in a tussle
blunt.
I think it starts from the top. So I mean, ultimately he's got to, he might not be the problem, but unfortunately as a coach, you're the one that has to fall on the sword. So I don't know. Maybe there does need to be a change.
Yeah, I agree. And Berhalter, I think is how you say it, or Berhalter or something like that. It's like he's got to be the one that falls on the sword. But I feel like we shouldn't panic. We have time before the World Cup to fix this and to advance to the knockout stage. I don't think we can obviously win it, but I think we could make some noise, get out of group play at least. It's just things got to change. I think it starts with the head coach. Unfortunately, he's got to be the guy that takes the fall, and then you got to have a fucking hard ass to come in there and say, hey, this is how we do things. Like, to your point, Jeremy, of like, none of this bullshit. Like, we're disciplined. Yeah, it's chippy. Keep your composure. Let's keep going. Let's keep working here. I'm with you.
What's Landon Donovan doing these days?
He's getting hair transplants and on TV for Fox.
I feel like he could be the coach of the U.S. team.
You guys see his hair?
I don't know if he wants to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it.
They've talked about that Tim Howard guy maybe doing it. He's the analyst, the old keeper.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He seems like he's got a pretty cush job in the studio. It's like a lot of those guys.
See, that's the thing. Yeah. That's
like
John people Gruden saying Tony Romo should coach. He's never going to leave CBS. He's got it made.
Yeah. Learn from Urban Meyer. Don't do it. Just fucking stay in the middle.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, don't do it. What a disaster that was.
Oh, dude, that was terrible. Man, 13 games. Anyways, all right, NBA. Let's start a little free agency here. Let's start with the big news, which is wild. Clay, no longer a splash bro in Golden State. But I feel like we saw this coming, right? Like, injuries piled up. There was some tiff-taff going on. And I just feel like mutual for both parties to separate here. Goes to Dallas. I didn't expect that. Now Luka, Kyrie, they get that weapon. It reminds me, as much as I hate to say this, Miami Heat getting Ray Allen. Like, maybe this is the missing piece that they need to kind of.
But Luka's not
facilitate.
LeBron.
No, he's not. Not at all. But maybe this is the missing link to help win.
I mean, they looked hella good.
Like, right. Yeah. So let's start with that one. Thoughts from you guys?
I don't know.
It's gonna be weird seeing him in a Mavericks jersey. I would say. I mean, and I guess I saw a report where his dad, Michael Thompson, came out and was like, I tried to get him to be a Laker or something like that, and I guess he just wanted to go to Dallas. But yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, I saw the send off from Steph. But yeah, I don't know. As a casual fan, maybe it spices up the game a little bit. It'll spice up some rivalries. And I mean, if you're Luka or Kyrie, like, you can't complain having a weapon like that on the perimeter, and so yeah, we'll see. I mean, good signing for them. Just didn't see it coming.
Exactly. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like, in the postseason, it was Kyrie and Luka, but you felt like all this other supporting cast, they do need that third person. But I thought it was like I thought they needed a power forward or a center. I thought that was the missing piece they needed. So it's weird to get. I feel like Clay is kind of a washed up, version of himself. Where he can still, and maybe that is if you're getting Miami Heat Ray Allen, well, that's a huge help.
Yeah,
he can carry, he can do it. I don't think that's who they're getting though. They're getting it's like I don't know what year, 2006 Peja. Stojakovic. I don't know if they ever, but it's like a washed up guy, like, who used to be one of the best shooters. And now it's like, he could still do it, but
it's not consistent.
Yeah. Is he going to get the space? I don't know. It seems a little weird to me. And at the same time, I mean, I thought it was weird when they got Kyrie and was proved wrong. It really worked out. So
grew up in front of our eyes. Yeah.
So I'll be really curious to see how it plays out.
The East gets, I think, a little easier here. Isaiah Hartenstein, he goes from the Knicks to OKC. Once again, I thought he'd resign with the Knicks. I thought I just felt like the locker room vibes were high. They felt like they had a chance here. They won one game.
He's not a Villanova.
He's not a Nova guy though. That's right. So maybe he felt like the odd man out. Yeah. I feel like it's a good move for OKC. They're young. I feel like that kind of brings a little veteran presence, but not too washed up where he still has some legs in him. Like I feel like it's a good move for OKC. They can make some noise. I don't think that's championship worthy, but they can make some noise here.
Yeah. Speaking of the Knicks, did you guys see Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton were on Monday Night Raw as part of like they were like part of the storyline. It was the show was at MSG, and Jalen Brunson was helping one wrestler, and Tyrese Halliburton came out and was helping the other one, and of course MSG was just wearing Halliburton out. It was pretty good.
I think old boy brought a chair in. He was ready to go. Yeah. I love it. It reminded me of Rodman versus Malone in WCW days. I'm dating myself there.
That's so true.
What it reminded me of. So, all right. And the other big move, playoff P, Paul George going to Philly.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. He's signed with Philadelphia Sixers. I like the move. I once again, like Clay, I think he's a little past his prime here, but maybe he brings enough presence. Maybe he brings enough to the table where Philly can climb in the East a little bit.
Poor Philly fans.
Rough, right?
Embiid is for real, but he needs some help.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Celtics, they ownership selling after they re-signed literally everybody. They threw out like millions and millions and millions of dollars to everybody to re-sign. And then the owner's like, hey, good luck fucking fixing that in the future. I'm out. I think it's a great move by them. Like, you go off on the high, you go off in championship, then you dip. All right. I don't even want to bring this up, but I'm going to do it. Bronny James gets drafted.
Yeah. This is stupid.
I don't think he deserves to get drafted. I think it's a 4-year deal. We're looking at a G League player here. Am I the asshole for saying that?
No.
Okay.
He averaged 4.4 points a game in college.
And he's 6 fucking foot. Like, that's my height.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of feel for JJ Redick too, because like I think JJ is going to do some great things. Like I love his basketball mind, but he's like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, am I going to say no to, LeBron James basically signing off on this? So like I don't know. As a guy that didn't get drafted, like I was a free agent, it kind of pisses me off that like there's a draft pick on that where like there's probably somebody else that was deserving of that pick. But that's probably a conversation for another time. But yeah, I don't know.
We got the time, Jeremy.
You know what this feels like? This is like in rec league or like growing up when the assistant coach has a kid who's just trash at basketball, but you have to play him. Yeah. Like where the head coach wants to do all this other stuff. And he's like, yeah, he should probably come off the bench. But it's the assistant coach. It's his kid that you gotta like. All right, I guess Bronny's the point guard. Like, go ahead and get in there. Like
that's what it is.
It is weird. Analogy. I think JJ does. There is a little bit of he's got his hands tied. It's just weird. This is the weirdest. This might be one of the weirdest sports stories, like ever. Like when we look through the pages of sports history. This might be one of the weirdest, like maybe like Jordan playing baseball. Yeah, it's a weird part of sports history.
I like that. And like, I feel like this would be fucking cool if he deserved it. Like this, like the Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, exactly.
That was awesome to watch. That was amazing. Yeah.
But
if Bronny deserved this, I think we'd all be saying that. Like, yo, how fucking cool is that?
But we all have an eye for it. Like Charlie Woods playing golf. Yeah. Like you can see it. You can tell. It's like, this is gonna be sick when he's old enough to play. I don't think we've ever felt that way about Bronny. Like have we like even like when he was in high school, you weren't like blown away by this guy.
No.
It was never like, well, when Bronny's in the league. I don't that's where it's just different.
There's no way he gets meaningful minutes, right? Like, there's no way he might not make, he will make the team somehow, but like, I just don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah. Man. Can you imagine me and JJ Redick can be like, hey, we're going to send your son down to the G League? Like that conversation, because LeBron's got a fucking office right next to JJ. It's probably bigger than JJ's. Like, rough.
JJ Redick with an all-time presser too, like week 1 into the job, where they asked him the question. He's like, I don't really know how to answer your question because I really just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and people were pissed about that. I was like, dude, I love that. We need more coaches to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like everybody gets mad when they they give the same scripted answers of, hey, we'll get back, we'll in the film room, we'll make some adjustments and come out better. He's like, tell it like it is, man. We played like shit. They're better than us. What I'd rather hear that than so
exactly. I'm with you. All right, one more basketball topic, and then we'll kind of get in a random 5-minute segment, and then we'll do pub parlay and random question here. What in the Filipowski is going the fuck on in Utah? Like, this story, dude. This story is insane.
Oh, man.
He's 18, going to prom with a 26-year-old who happened to babysit him. Maybe they're cousins. Maybe they're not. There's a lot of, like, what-ifs here. Apparently, he's been groomed since he was 15. She was 22. This is the reverse Karl Malone for Utah Jazz here.
Where's he from? Is he from Utah? No.
I don't think so.
Where is he from?
I think he's from the South somewhere. Okay. I'm gonna look.
I know. So I saw bits and pieces of the story. So it kind of like you were saying, Parker. She was 26. He was 8, or no. She was his
20.
babysitter.
Yeah, and then she went to prom as a 26 or 25-year-old.
Yeah.
So they're saying like she was quote unquote grooming him.
Yeah.
No, right. He's from New York.
New York, yeah.
Classic Dookie.
You're right. I should have.
They're all from New York.
Yeah. He's soft.
And like he's cut off his family ties. There's some Mormon aspects to this, which I'm not going to go into, but this is shout out to Utah Jazz for drafting him because it gives us all the jokes that we want. But in reality, this is kind of a fucked up situation here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's just, she's got those crazy eyes too. You can tell.
You can tell in the eyes. Yeah.
There's something that the reverse Karl Malone. That's incredible.
I mean,
it's weird. It's weird. I don't know where else to go. It's just like, yeah.
Good luck. That's what I would say.
I love it. Good luck. Yeah.
Sure, this is rock solid.
Apparently, this hurt his draft status from his family.
Yeah,
I think his playing kind
those jerseys are sick, though. I will say that I've always been a fan of Utah's jerseys,
and they're bringing them back.
Yeah,
this is gonna be their primary. Yeah,
like the ones from the Last Day. They wore in the Last Dance documentary with the shorts too. Like I got to get my hands on those mountaintop shorts. Those things were sick.
Those were sick. I would just rock the shorts. Yeah, you put some pockets in that.
Yep.
We might be a business idea, Jeremy. We'll talk after the show. We'll go big on this.
All right. Kind of related though. Zach Wilson got engaged. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. MILF.
Speaking of
MILF alert.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, dating women way older than him. No, I think, but he got engaged to someone like close to his age. So he's turned a corner. Maybe Filipowski. I don't know. Don't know what the future has in store for him, but
you guys see his headshot for Denver? He looks like Dash from The Incredibles. Got the hair slicked back. It's pretty sick. All right. Random bucket of shit here. Jamarcus Russell gets fired from being a volunteer high school coach for embezzling $72,000. I want Jamarcus Russell so bad to turn a corner. They had that like E60 about him like 10 years ago. He's getting his life together. He's getting fixed. And it's like, this comes out. It's like, God damn it. Jamarcus, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Yeah. I mean, 72,000, like at least make it the $40 check that someone writes to the booster club you're going to steal, but 72 grand, Jesus.
Yeah. People know it's going to be missing ASAP.
Yeah. But to your point, like, growing up, one of the most athletically gifted quarterbacks I think I've ever seen. Just like the way smoothest release I think I've ever seen outside of like Chris Leak. But like, dude was incredible. Like throwing balls 50 yards off his knee. Like, yeah, would love to see this dude resurgence, but I don't know.
Man, I feel like he could have given so much to the next generation of like obviously how to play, but also what to do off the field, how to make yourself better. Hey, when coach gives you a film to watch, make sure you watch it in case it's blank. Like, plenty of advice here he could have passed on, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough. Fitz, thoughts from you real quick.
Yeah, just that's probably the least surprising story we've heard. Like, I don't know. It's just like Jamarcus Russell. I'm just used to him disappointing me. So it's like, okay.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, Jamarcus. That's what Fitz is giving right now. All right. Real quick, NCAA or college football, we'll talk about it. Top 10 toughest places to play.
Oh, this is bullshit.
This is a bullshit list. Thank you. Kyle, Phil, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Thank God. If they would have put Michigan on there, I would have because App State, they went into Texas A&M and won.
Yeah.
We went to overtime in Penn State. I was hoping Michigan was on there because it could have been the ultimate fuck you, but now it's just like slightly a fuck you.
Yeah. I feel like Kyle Phil needs to be out. Oh, go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, outside of Alabama just having a really good football team for the last decade, I don't necessarily think Tuscaloosa is like the place that people dread going to at number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
LSU honestly, I thought Tennessee would have been on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neyland Stadium should be up there.
110,000 or whatever they pack in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Ohio State, once again, I think it's another case of Bama where it's a good football program. I don't think anybody fears going to the horseshoe up there.
Honestly, both those I think Florida State and Florida, I'm glad they made the list. I almost wonder if they should be higher.
Yeah. I would definitely put the Swamp over Florida State, though.
I'll say this. Obviously, I'm a bit of a homer, but we were down at the yourself-think, your chest hurts. It's hot as hell. It's muggy. You're like right on top of the field. I've heard that like visiting facilities aren't the best for play. So it's just like a perfect recipe to be a really tough place to play. So to Fitz's point, or maybe Parker, it was you, like, I think Florida could even be a little bit higher just based strictly on environment, not necessarily program, but like, I still think the Swamp is a feared place to play on a, Saturday night or a Saturday 3:30 primetime game for sure.
Oh yeah. You guys break out those orange jerseys. Like, it's hitting right. I know RIP CBS on SEC or SEC on CBS, but like, yeah, that hit 3:00 on a Saturday. You're like, I'm not moving anywhere.
Yeah, I ain't doing a damn thing.
October, November, yeah.
Also, they got the Tom Petty, won't back down. You got that going for them. I thought that with Wisconsin, jump around.
Yeah.
It's like when you've got a song or a tradition that you can throw in. Yeah. I think that gives you points.
I like that. Yeah. And that's bringing it into the game, by the way. They're bringing all that, like, jump around. They'll have the wide out Penn State. Like, I'm stacked for this thing.
This is going to be absolutely incredible.
They're going to have Miller Hill for app, so all the fans on the hill. Like, it's going to be sick. It's going to be great. All right. Pub parlay. We'll do a random question. We'll get out of here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you guys want, we'll put it all in a parlay. We'll make some money. We went 1 for 2.
My bad.
It's not just you; it's also Devontae. So
the Twins didn't win on my birthday. I thought that was gonna be. I thought that was destiny.
That did seem like
it's always a mistake. Always a mistake for gamblers. Use your head, not your heart. I went with my heart. I got burned.
Second rule: always chase your losses.
That's right. That's right. Never hedge them. You just chase.
Yeah. Don't be a quitter.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever day you guys want, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you just let me know. Okay. We'll throw some bread on it.
Let's see here.
Oh, man. My heart really wants to take the Twins over the Astros in one of these games. But that's a heart pick.
Astros not as good as they usually are, though.
They aren't, but they're still tough.
Don't mind it.
I can't do it. Can't do it.
I was going to talk you into it.
No.
Let's see.
Ooh, we got Sox Yankees. I don't want to bet on that, but that's a good. It's always fun.
Okay, got WNBA action, you got baseball, you got soccer, whatever you guys want.
Give me Giants Guardians. That's going to be a good series. Give me Guardians money line on Friday the 5th.
Friday money line. Sorry, Friday Guardians money line.
I gotta make up for my
your slur
non-DEI friendly
gosh, how
earlier.
dare you. I like it. All right, Guardians money line Friday. Fitz, you still looking?
Hold on, I think I've got. Okay, both these teams are traveling, but I'm gonna take. Dodgers have to travel further than Milwaukee. I'm gonna take Milwaukee over the Dodgers.
I don't hate it.
On Friday.
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 I like that too.
Brewers.
Milwaukee, man, they're grinders.
Yeah, they're really.
I think they're exception to the NL Central of like, hey, these guys could maybe do all right in the playoffs. Like, so we got Guardians, Brewers Friday. I'm going to go footy action. I'm going to go Germany over Spain Friday. They're a dog, but it's in Germany. Get the home crowd feel for them. Give me the Germans, the Krauts. All right. Let's 4th of July. It's coming up tomorrow. So when this releases, it'll be a day past. I want to know your Mount Rushmore for things you have to have on 4th of July. So top 4 things, no particular order, unless you guys want to put them in order, but top 4 things you got to have on 4th of July.
I'd say charcoal grill, whatever you want to put on that grill.
That's really good.
So I'll throw that one out.
That's really good.
You need some ice cold beer.
2 beers.
3 beer.
Beers. Love that.
Man.
One that's controversial, maybe fireworks. I know a lot of dog owners don't like them. My dog's too deaf to hear it, but
you gotta have fireworks.
Yeah.
I think you gotta have fireworks. That's
the only thing that makes it 4th of July. I think that's gotta be number one.
Yeah.
Whether you have it or you just observe it, there has to be
some type of explosion.
Some type of fire. Yeah, you gotta go see some fireworks. Yeah. I'm trying to think of I think I have fireworks, wiffle ball.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Actually makes my list.
That's a good one.
That's almost like a bonus because I've had 4th of July's that don't have wiffle ball, but when they do have wiffle ball or softball or some
sporting event,
that's always like what makes it. That's what makes it like elite.
It's good.
That's that scene from Sandlot, the July 4th cul-de-sac scene. I think one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
Cinematic.
Well, we had in
history
is actually in Raleigh. I had family friends in Raleigh, and their tradition was always they played against the local fire department and softball. So we played. And I went down there a few times once I was old enough to play, because usually I'd just have to watch when I was like a little kid. But when I was in college and post grad, I got to actually play. And we drink beer, we play softball, do that for a few hours. Then we go jump in the pool, and then we play wiffle ball. Then we go to that later in the afternoon, like we have a cookout, we play wiffle ball. That was like the best tradition.
That's great.
So that's like in my, that's got to be my Mount Rushmore. It's just wiffle ball or softball kind of combined.
I love that.
The grill, I got to steal that answer.
Grill. And don't get me wrong, I'm most of the time I'm just gas grill guy just for ease and convenience sake. But I feel like 4th of July, got to put them charcoals on. You got to get smoked out. Yeah,
I like that. And my last, I would say torn between beer or hot dogs.
Yeah,
I feel like you got to have a hot dog on the 4th of July.
Didn't they take Joey Chestnut away from us?
Yeah, it's true. So beer. Yep. Yeah. Everyone off hot dogs.
Go Brat.
No more Nathans. Yeah.
We ride at dawn.
That's right.
No more Nathans. Never again. Yeah. That's my list.
I like it. Solid list. Jeremy, anything to add? Anything to steal? I know we got charcoal grill and beer for you.
No, I mean that's honestly like I think there's really, I mean, you probably could go a few different avenues, but like I feel like you got those four. You hunker down and you have yourself an evening. Like that's really all you need.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we nailed it.
Good job, boys. We did one thing right in this podcast. Get a fucking 4th of July Mount Rushmore. I love it. Hey, thank you again for Jeremy for hopping on, man. You're welcome back anytime. You're just
Always
one
a
of us,
pleasure.
man. And
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And good luck with if we don't see you before October.
I appreciate that, Fitz. Thank you.
Yeah.
You as well.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
as well. Yeah, we'll let's do it again soon. I'm sure we'll get something drummed up for football season. That's when I think everybody really comes alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for having me as always, and we'll do it again soon, boys.
Yeah, brother. We'll catch you.
Good to see you.
All right, fellas.
Boom.
Great episode.
Good
Just
shit.
you meet. Outro.